Hey everybody. All right, I don't know what just happened there. Hang on, let me see. Something seems to be amiss. The script log. Okay, no, I think everything's fine. Let me try something really fast. Oh, wrong mic. Oh, that's probably why. What is this using? Yeah, I reconnected a bunch of things. It's probably, let me check. Actually, where do I even do this? Sound settings, input. Okay, test. Yeah, okay, looks like this is coming through. Thank you very much, Stilling, for telling me that. Chef Alton, thanks for resubbing. Yeah, sounds normal now. Yeah, thank you. I think it was coming through the camera, which might not have actually sounded too bad. But let me try something really fast. Engage privacy mode. Okay, yeah, that worked. Okay, cool. Yeah. All right, well, hi, everybody. I have not streamed for 28 days, apparently. So 4 weeks. And I have a little blurb about what I did. Let me edit this and this. So yeah, we went to Spain. I'm still a little sick. You can probably hear it. Yeah, I mean, 4 weeks is a pretty long time, especially because I'd only been streaming for what, like 5 or 6 months up until then. So I pretty much took like 20% of that time off. Mudkip, thank you too for resubbing. And um, I kind of mentioned this, but a lot of times I feel like, oh, I need vacation. I've got to take some time off. We took 3 weeks off, and I don't feel like I needed 3 weeks. So I'm really excited to get back to work and do things again. I'm just a little sick. So let's see how today goes. I think my main test for today is going to be, can I think clearly? And if the answer to that is ever no, then I think I need to stop streaming. So normally I do about 6.5 hours. Today might be like 3 and that's it. I don't know. Hey, Steam. And yeah, thank you. Yeah, glad to be back. So normally on Monday, I would do my tenant review. I don't think there's really a need to do that. The last stuff that we worked on was, let's see, projectiles effect, animated enemy sprites, brain felt slow, last stream before vacation, and then launched the first checkpoint as Skeleseller. Yeah. Yeah. So what we are going to be working toward is checkpoint number 2. And I wrote somewhere what that entails. The more I think about it, the more I think it's worth holding off on checkpoint number 2 until we've addressed the majority of the feedback from checkpoint number 1. So yeah, I wrote July 19th question mark. That would give us a little over a month. This might be doable. So I don't know. We'll see. Hey, Dennis. All right, let's get into it. I am going to go through the PRs. Darkstorm has submitted 9 of these. I only clicked one of them so far. And what is that one doing there? I might have also looked at this, I guess. Oh yeah, 9. I haven't even really looked at the titles of these too much, so we're just gonna go through that. Managed to read all the feedback. Yeah, I did read all the feedback. I have like semi-compiled all the stuff I want to work on. And I think that's the biggest thing for checkpoint number 2 is make sure we don't just keep getting the same feedback. So like, let's say I did what, two days of development or 1 day of development. Let's say I re-released checkpoint number 2 right now. People would be like, hey, all the same stuff is broken and it wouldn't be that valuable. So once we have made more progress, we'll get different feedback. And hopefully that feedback is helpful. Hopefully it's still on the right track. Hope your recovery is quick. Thanks, Blue Sky. Yeah. I'm really glad to be back. I've kind of mentioned this before, but there's different kinds of fulfillment. And there's like family and professional and exercise and whatever else. You know, there's a whole bunch of stuff here. And whenever I go on vacation, I feel like I fill up some of these, but not this like productivity need that I have. So this is currently sorely lacking. And we're going to eventually max out this, and then the other ones are going to be lacking, and I'm going to need to take some time off again. Hey, Shane. Okay, so closes 1:30. Didn't include the option unlock all battles because the buttons in town menu are private. Didn't know if it'll be fine to just change them into properties with public getters. Since this is a debug function, add inline iterators. Okay, this sounds fine. Where did this go, though? It went into town. So it gives you money, hires some adventurers, levels them up, upgrades the storeroom, creates a bunch of workers, and upgrades all the shops. Yeah, I think this is pretty good. This is the kind of thing that I mentioned. Do I even have Godot open? I don't. We're probably going to be a little bit slow today because I did just take medicine before the stream. But man, yesterday I could like feel myself get better as the medicine kicked in. Oh. But yeah, I've been sick for like, I don't know, 5 days. Hoping it ends soon. So this is the unmodified game. This is without this PR. And one of the issues that I had is that every time you wanted to test something, let this run. Come on. There we go. Yeah, every time you wanted to test something, we had to open up the debug menu and then click like grant money and then go buy some things and then maybe you create an instance or something. So this combines pretty much all of these buttons for right now into one. Hey, Oreo. Thank you. All right, so GHPR list. Oh, also, iTerm just changed this thing. So now you can click a command and you can see all of the output for just that command. Like it outlines it, which I think is pretty nice. Oh, what are these things up here? Is that a share button? Add command to snippet, copy command URL. What is a URL in iTerm? What? I didn't know that. Huh. Okay, interesting. And what is this button? Enter mark name. And then copy the command to the output. Oh, cool. Yeah, pretty neat. That's actually super helpful. There are lots of times I want to do this. Huh. I did not know about that. And I think there's some other thing where if let's say I run this again, I think as you're scrolling, yeah, you can see now get pull is kind of pinned to the top. And if I scroll, let's run this one more time. Yeah, it tells you which command you're looking at the output of before you get to it. So pretty neat. Anyway, we are going to look at this one. So GHPR checkout 133. And let's go try that out. Should be pretty straightforward. Oh, wait, there was a debugger thing there. What is this? Oh, that's fine. Okay, so now we have a grant most things button. There it is. So we click that and we've got upgraded shop, upgraded storeroom, more workers, more money, leveled up adventurers. All the adventurers are hired. The battles aren't unlocked, but that might eventually change how we do this. Yeah, pretty nice. Cool. Yeah, I think that's fine. I don't think I have any real comments there. So let's go check that in. Den, thank you very much for resubbing and for the nice message. I missed you all too. And hey, John, welcome back. I have not totally forgotten how to stream. I just wasn't looking at YouTube chat for a second. Let me keep that open. All right, let's merge this. And now we only have 8 left. All right, next one, add debug menu background. Ooh, this is going to be nice. Yeah, right now you can see in the game that when I open up the debug menu, it just overlays on top of the previous menu. And it's really hard to read the buttons. So this should make this much nicer. Closes 129. Yep, yep, yep. All right, menu is now a panel container that adds a solid background. VBox for buttons is stored in a margin container. Add spacing around the buttons. Debug menu script is now inside panel container with a new parent. The panel displays a solid background to not blend with the town menu under it. Also, I think we could change the town menu the same way, solid background, some spacing. Maybe we could also just extract the panel container with it into a generic empty window or respawn menus. Yeah, I don't know about the generic empty window part, but I think the rest of this all sounds pretty good. Debug menu is a panel container. Yep, this looks fine. Okay, so what do we have in here? Buttons container, because this used to be a VBox container. I see. There is one tiny change I would probably make here. And it is to not even have this inherit from panel container in the code. This is something I find a little bit weird about Godot. It's not super strange, but like, okay, we have this debug menu and it inherits from VBox container. We don't use any VBox container specific code in here. So what we should actually do is just make this be control or something. All the code would still work. But now when we change it in the engine, so if I were to go into this, and this isn't even the right class, but whatever. If I were to go in and change type, I wouldn't need to edit code as well. So that's the only change I might make here. Why does it think this is a change? Okay, no, it doesn't anymore. All right, so GH, actually, I guess we could do a git pull, GHPR list. This should just be 134. Let's go try that out. Oh. Oh yeah, this looks good. Hey, couch. Yeah, this is much more readable. I like it a lot. We should maybe eventually add in some notifications that something happened through there. Yeah, so this is good. Like I said, the one thing I think I want to do is change this, but it's really not that important. So let's go merge this in. This looks good. I don't know if we need to make a generic. I don't think we need to do this part just yet. But adding a background and some margin for the town menu could also be nice. I don't think that's worth doing yet though, since we will probably change some UI around for checkpoint number 2. All right. I know I just missed a subscription. 3D Extended, hey. And thanks for the code review. Oh, good. You saw that. Yeah. Thanks for resubbing. Hey, Jost. I did have a good vacation. And hey, Goose. Yeah, I mentioned it here. I had been saying how we'd been taking really... Excuse me, I'm a little bit sick. I mentioned how we'd been taking really long walks. Well, the reason why is because we walked, I don't know how many kilometers exactly, but like 310 or something over the course of 2 weeks. And we wanted to be prepared for that. So yeah, that was what my vacation was that I wasn't actually sharing with anyone really. It was a very unique just time and like bubble. I don't know how many of you have heard of the Camino de Santiago, but if you think about it as like hiking for many, many days, that on its own doesn't kind of properly sum this up, because if you go hiking in just your hometown, then you're probably hiking on your own. And if other people see you, they're just going to say hi or like, hey, nice day we're having, but they're not going to like stop and talk to you. But on the Camino, it was like you make new friends. People stop and talk to you for a couple hours. You don't really end up eating dinners alone or anything like that. People just randomly kind of join you and talk to you. So that was a really interesting aspect of this that I wasn't aware of and didn't think I'd be really participating in. LSRP, thank you very much. Thanks for resubbing. I think it was you who just submitted your feedback about Skeleseller that I just read. Let me take a look. If not, I'm going to just stop talking for a sec because it's somebody else completely. Responses, individual, and 46. Was this you? Yes, it was you. Yeah. So I appreciate the feedback. I was going to say really quickly, a lot of these things, and you kind of commented on the feedback, a lot of these things are now known issues that like, okay, I'm definitely going to fix. And that's what we're working toward here with checkpoint number 2. So it's really nice to know at least this is all on the right track. I'm happy about that. Okay, I don't think we need to do this part just yet. Adding a background and some margin can also be nice. However, even for that, I don't think it's worth doing yet, since we'll probably change some UI around. Yeah, it was a long time ago. Okay, yeah, totally fine. It's not even worth really bringing up again. Just the short story is a lot of the feedback is known at this point, and we will be addressing it. Getting to know someone new in Spain, was that related to your holiday? Getting to know someone in Spain. Oh, I'm trying to remember the context of this. And I think if I weren't sick, I could probably remember it. No. Well, okay, that was sort of related to the holiday, I guess. I mentioned we went to a wedding. There were people who lived in Seattle and then permanently moved to Spain. And they had commented on a cultural change over there that they noticed. So yeah, I guess that was like very vaguely related. But they were just friends that we'd had for years, and they just happened to move. Yeah, that was it. Yeah. Okay, so I like doing these in order so that we approach these from the same point of view that Darkstorm did. So this would be the next one now. 135. Move all town nodes outside of the sub viewport. as mentioned in this comment, you have to extract this into a separate scene. Can't seem to show sub viewports clipped contents. Oh yeah, I remember reading about this. Had to extract everything into its own separate scene. No notes are editable. Okay. And this should be pretty straightforward, right? The scene changed. Yeah, the scene changed and then this changed. Okay. I spilled water on my keyboard with the first routine. Thanks, Blob. And hey, Styvo. The vacation was good. Yeah, I got a tiny little vacation command here that I added in. Um, you know, this thing about walking super far, we did maybe half of the full trip. So 300 kilometers, I guess, is supposed to be about 600 or 700, maybe an 800. I'm not sure. And people do it over the course of about 4 or 5 weeks. That I couldn't have imagined doing. I don't think it would have been fun for another 2 weeks or something to just keep getting up every day, like applying a whole bunch of anti-pain things to your body, sunblock, etc. And then walking, getting there, like, cleaning all your dirty clothes, packing everything. I think that routine would have been tough. So I think it was the right length. Yeah, it is a lot. Yeah. I think the other thing too is flying on an airplane is already frustrating enough. Flying on an airplane while sick is something I think I never want to do again the rest of my life. That was one of the worst experiences I've ever had. I couldn't sleep even in the bed in our place that we were staying at before the flight. And then for the flight, because I didn't have any sleep and because I was sick, my eyes were burning. I couldn't focus on anything. I just felt every single minute passing. And it was so bad. But yeah, that was just a really bad end of the vacation. Then we got home and I've been in bed for pretty much the last few days. How long was the flight? I think it's a total of 14 hours from here to Barcelona. And we had a very long layover too, although that ended up being a benefit because I really needed to sleep in the airport. So we got through security and then there was like a large bench and I just like passed out on that bench. I couldn't handle it anymore. Check out 135. Actually, I should probably do another one of these. Yeah. Anytime I get my sinuses clogged, even with the sniffles, the pressure change once. Yeah, that was another thing I'd never experienced in my life before. Oh man, that was really rough. I thought something was going to be like permanently damaged on that plane in my ear. Yeah, I'd never had that happen before, and that was super scary. Being on a plane is an easy way to get sick too. Yeah. Yeah, it's true, but I think in the future maybe I'll try to like, I don't know, if I know that I'm sick or at least that sick, that maybe I try to stay for an extra day or two and just recover there. And then at least I'm not in the height of the sickness when I'm flying. Hey, Cloud Tech Ninja, I could never do that at an airport. I just needed it so badly. It had been like pretty much 30 hours or so without sleep. And I finally got to just lay flat again. And it wasn't restful sleep, but it was something. And it made there was like 6 hours to fly back from New York City. It made that more bearable. Hey, Buffy. The vacation was good. It was really good. I got a quick little vacation command here. I was just talking about the flight back. That part was not good. But yeah, I've learned my lesson now. Lesson number 1, don't get sick. Lesson number 2, if you get sick, don't fly. Okay, so everything should be exactly the same in the game with this, except that now we can put things in sub viewports correctly. Oh, this has to have, I guess it doesn't really matter. I need to hire adventurers, start some battles. Yeah. First time outside the US? No, I've been outside the US, although I'd never been to Spain before. And Spain was nice, although I feel like we were only in Spain proper for a little bit, and then we were wandering around through like, well, it was still in Spain, but it was in these little towns. When did I get back? Am I jet lagged? I got back on Thursday, and I might be slightly jet lagged. I'm not sure. But it was mostly just the sickness, and it's hard to tell which part was due to the sickness and which part was due to jet lag. But yeah, I've been in bed for most of the last few days. The one thing I did manage to do is like completely revamp this room. It took about an hour and a half. I just wanted to dust my computer. Let me see if I have a picture. Okay, I do have a picture, I guess. Yeah, so this is now what my streaming setup looks like. I mean, it always kind of looked like this, but I know there's a bunch of cables there, but things were laid out a little bit differently. So it's a nice, tidy room now. All right, so I really should look at this and just see what changed in this scene, but I think a lot was exported out of here. Yeah, such that this is a gigantic diff. And now it's in what? Town scene? Okay, not sure I'd stick with that naming, but let's go take a look at one. Well, other than the cables, it's pretty tidy. I mean, there's nothing really going on. I know there was a cable on the floor and a roll of paper towels on the floor. I was dusting everything. Yeah, the problem is I've got my Windows PC, I've got the Mac, I've got all the like streaming stuff, and then I've got all the networking stuff. Just put a curtain in front of the cables. That's, I mean, that's really all you can do with cable management at some point, right? Is unless you have wireless stuff, those cables need to be somewhere, and most people just try to put them out of sight somehow. So either they put those little cable channels on your desk, or yeah, you put it in a set of drawers or something like that, or a tiny cabinet. So yeah, maybe I should just throw a blanket over everything. Light our router on fire. Okay, so now we have town scene. And then the actual town. Excuse me. Yeah, Abby's happy. She seems a little different though. We had her at a friend's place for 3 weeks, and she's a little slower, I think, when she plays, and she's a little bit calmer as well. Let me see if I have a good Abby picture. I do, of her sleeping. Look at this. Love that cat. So yeah, town. Oh, wait a second. What is this? Okay, this is bizarre. Town scene contains town, and town contains town scene. Yeah. Calmer than that. Well, I mean, she was sleeping. I mean, even when she's awake, though. Were there other cats? No, no. And my friend had never had a cat before in his life. And now he's coming over today, and we think it's because he missed the cat. But maybe he wants to see us. Okay, yeah, naming of this is a little strange. I'm not gonna hold up checking this in though. Script town scene. There's, I don't know where you comment on this. Town scene has a. Can you collapse this? No. Darn it, this file is just so big that it's hard to find exactly where I want to comment on. Where is it? Yeah, this. Okay. So it's a little strange now that the scene named town has a node named town scene, and the scene named town scene has a node named town. What would I name these things anyway, though? Because this isn't even. This is now like game. Yeah. I would probably rename town.tscn to game.tscn or something. I'm not sure exactly, and I don't think it's worth holding up this PR. So I'm going to merge this. Hey, Smoo. Thanks. Wonder if she learned how to be a cat. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure what it was, but before we had lent our cat or like let our friend house sit our cat or cat sit, whatever. I'm not forming words correctly. Um, she was like super high energy and needed a ton of playtime and everything. And it was hard even just for my wife and I both to take care of her. Like it was just a lot. So I was a little worried about that, giving it to one person who couldn't lean on somebody else to help out with that. So maybe that's why she's a little bit slower feeling. All right, add single comment. Okay. I think otherwise this looks pretty good. And I do think we should rename this. So maybe I'll keep track of this somewhere else. Put this here for now. Rename town and town scene. Not sure about better names, but it's sort of confusing now. And also, each scene contains a node with the name of the other scene. Yeah. And then let's just copy a comment to, or copy a link to that comment I left. How do I even see it? I think we need to load the diff to see it. Yep, here it is. Copy link. Okay, so this level of thinking that I'm doing, I think is okay, but I suspect from the level of cloudiness in my brain that I shouldn't do any real intense work today. I might stop after one stream and not do the afternoon. I don't know how long it's going to take me to get better. I feel like I've done nothing but rest, really. Like, why won't the sickness go away? All right, let's go merge this. Oh, there was the comment. Could have just looked at it there. Okay, and then get pull. Actually, just GSM here. Cool. All right, next PR. What do we got? What is the next lowest number? 138. Yeah, this. Add instance rooms, progress through the instance. Partial implementation of 137. Implement extra rooms to instances. Opening this for tracking the ongoing work. Whoa, what is this thing? What is that? Oh, it's a table. Oh, okay. How do I unedit this? Cancel. Cool. Many two tasks were removed as they need to be discussed first. We might have some issues with spawning all enemies due to their placement and ability updates at the start. Explain later. Unfinished tasks may be moved to new issues or just rejected. Okay, so 3 PRs. Postponed. Hide the adventurers during transition and spawn in the next stage. This is not what I'd imagine. I'd imagine them walking between the instances or the battle rooms. Spawn enemies beforehand and create dungeon variants. Okay. Generate a random number of rooms. For now, it's 3. Store that number in the battle system as total stages count. Starting from 1. After the battle, check if our current stage count is still lower than the total. If below, reinitialize with the same adventurers but not new enemies. Wait for 2 seconds to simulate the transition. If at total, just execute as usual. Okay. Yeah, this is a very involved task. And I think there's going to be a lot of other things we need to do here. Considering the instances to be different at any given stage, it means that the instance manager will instantiate a random dungeon variant. I'm not sure I understand what this means, but for now, I'll only copy the existing dungeons and place them next to each other with just slight modification to at least make them look connected, not really by doors, but just anything that looks like a walkable path. Okay, yeah. How did you go about parsing the feedback? Did you just read each message and if valid, create a task for it, and then you just go down the line? Yeah, essentially. I read through all the feedback and I've got a list somewhere that I don't think I have filed everything yet. And then yeah, features and suggestions. I think there are a few classes of those. One is like pretty good, just obvious feature or suggestion that I hadn't considered. So something where it's like, yeah, that's a pretty good fit for the game. Let's just add that as a task. Then there were ones where it's like, okay, that's an idea. Is it something that will be good? I don't know. So let's just add it as a consideration for later. And then there are ones where it's like, this is just too big of a deviation from what I had planned, where it's like, yeah, you pretty much just reject those up front. So I think you'll see over the course of the next month or so that as checkpoint 2 starts to crystallize, just what exactly is changing here. And I think the big stuff, let's see if I can find this. Hey, two dorks. Good morning. Good to see you again. All right, that was my sucky way of scrolling all the bottom here. So the things that I wanted for checkpoint number 2 is your adventurers acting as workers. In the current game, you actually, where is this? Yeah, you click hire worker and you get new workers. I think the adventurers that you hire, so right now I have a rogue, a mage, and a warrior, they should just be in town acting as workers for you. So that's one thing I wanted changed. Yeah, and adventurers existing on the overworld, it's pretty much the same thing. More adventurers, this one's pretty obvious. We only have 3 right now, add in different classes. Battle effect, I only very quickly started working on. I don't even know if I can show this right now. Is it? Yeah. So like this sort of thing, a fireball actually looking like a fireball and animating over to the enemy. So this was supposed to be there for lots of different effects and abilities. And then yeah, more gameplay. Those are the big ones. All right, I had to figure out the best way to animate this. Simple tween and experiment transitions rather than just teleporting the camera to the next stage. How will the transition work? We need to calculate the next position. Oh boy. Okay, I should probably comment on some of this. Random dungeon variant. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna write some comments here. Commenting on everything at once and without having looked at the PR just yet. Thanks for compiling all of this. Okay, so expanding the tile maps. I'm not totally sure I understood this section, but what I was picturing is that we would generate each room, I believe you call a stage, and then have some way of connecting them together if needed. Yeah, something like that. Okay, transitions. Adventurers stay in place when they win a single fight, and the room transition will look weird with them standing in place. What I'm thinking here is just hiding them, playing the transition, and making them visible again. Current solution with tile map scrolling is fine as long as it doesn't involve any changes to how we spawn enemies. Option just to update where the battlers are being spawned. Okay, this I actually envisioned completely differently. I envision this differently from perhaps what you've described. I was thinking that adventurers could walk to their next battle. So we would pathfind them to the door, and then from the door to their next standing positions. So yeah, the camera would have to follow them for this. It actually makes me wonder if you should have any camera control at all in an instance. Like right now when you start it, well, that one's already zoomed in, so let's just look at this one. Like this is totally visible here. I know my keyboard camera's covering it, but you can see what's going on in the battle. And is there ever a reason for you to zoom in? Does that even work? There we go. Yeah. Is there ever a reason for you to do this? And like it does make the numbers more visible. But beyond that, what if we just kind of capped it here and there? And that way, when you move between rooms, it just pans the camera for you. And there's just less for you to have to control. Hey, Zaphoid. And yeah, welcome back, everybody. As I mentioned in, I think, the stream title or the intro or something, I haven't streamed for 28 days. And I am a little bit sick. I'm hoping medicine props me up for at least the morning stream. Yeah, holiday was good. It was a trip to Spain. So the problem with walking to another battle, though, is like, just from sort of a story perspective, if you think about it, the enemies aren't just going to stand there and wait for you to be there while you like walk in. Well, I guess the idea is that you're walking in and immediately getting into a fight. Hey, Hody. Hody, I saw you refollowed from like years ago. I looked at my dashboard before I started streaming. Welcome back. Lovely to keep walking. Yeah, it is. Although we knew we were doing it, so that's why we had been doing long walks beforehand. Yeah, I'm back. I'm back in a couple different ways. One is back from vacation, but the other is just back to streaming in general. The back to streaming in general, as that command mentions, happened on December 4th, 2023. So I was streaming until May 20th, and then there was vacation, and now we're here today, which is June 17th. So I guess it's been about 6.5 months since I started streaming again. Yeah. Crazy to think of all that. And I've been keeping a journal, which I've got a link to there. Am I still working full time? No, this is essentially my job. Was it like a backpacking situation with a tent and a whole camp setup, or more walking from one B&B to another? We did have backpacks, but we didn't need to store sleeping stuff in there. So we stopped at different hostels along the way. The nice thing about this trail is it's kind of a big tourist destination at this point now. Let me see if I can find something. I think last year there were like 430,000 people who went. Where is this? There's some table somewhere on here. Let's see if I can. Here it is. Yeah. Yeah, 446,000 people last year. And as a result of having this many people every year, it's like the towns all kind of are used to this. There are enough places to stay, enough places to eat. With that said, these towns are still like pretty small. Yeah, what happened in 2020? I think there are 2 footnotes for this one. But I think the number 4 is like this is during the pandemic, and number 1 is this is a holy year. Yeah, holy years. And the holy years are when a particular day falls on a Sunday. And I guess that increases the tourism. Like, yeah, you can see here it bumped up by quite a lot. Excuse me. All right, could walk to their next battle. So we would pathfind them. What else could we do to have them go between battles? And is there any other game that kind of works like this? I feel like the walking makes the most sense. But basically an instance is really like 3 battles. Each battle takes place in its own room. So how do we transition between battles? And like idea number 1 was have adventurers walk between them. Idea number 2 is like teleport the adventurers between them. Just show smoke clouds or something. Idea number 3 is maybe just ditch the concept of rooms and have new enemies appear in the battle. For anything else? Yeah, something like that. Hey, Scoreline. Yeah, Xanis, I'm inspired by the vacation. Make NPCs walk. I think I like idea number one the best. I still feel like this makes the most sense. Like, if you were in a dungeon, the characters would have to walk to the other rooms of the dungeon. 3 is good for a first iteration. 1 is good fun. Yeah, okay, yeah. I'm leaning more toward number one then. Okay, so adventurers could walk to the next battle, so we'd pathfind in the door, and then the door. Then the camera would just follow their progress as they walk. The whole thing wouldn't last very long. Yeah. In fact, I wonder if the player should even be able to control the instance camera at all. The only real reason I could see a player wanting to do that is if their screen were too small to be able to see the battle text. I wonder if we could just provide a UI option for increasing text size in battle, though. Yeah, something like that. Come up with a ton of short creative animations and have them be the transition. Digging a tunnel, building a ladder, cooking some kind of cauldron teleport potion. I like the idea. I think for one, it's artwork, which is something that I am not want to add to the game right now. And two is that I think it would be a little tedious for a player to see unless we had lots and lots of them. And I know you mentioned a ton, but like, yeah, you'd be like, oh, there's some weird transition thing happening again. Excuse me. Hey, Remy, how you doing? Okay, so there's that one. Hiding adventurers during transition. Yeah. All right, spawning enemies beforehand. This task is a little conflicting with the stage transition because transition will only move the dungeon tile map. I think we're going to have to change a decent amount of this stuff. Making the enemies spawn beforehand will require instantiating them in some place, which defeats the purpose of avoiding the position offset calculation. Spawning enemies require the battle system to ignore the next pack of enemies. See what enemies how many you'll face. Yeah. Better than you by the sounds of that coffee. Yeah, probably. Imagine expedite. Hang on. Excuse me. Imagine expediting just this checkpoint and not the whole game. So I'm dead, and checkpoint number 2 is released, and people are like, "But this wasn't even the whole game. Why did he even spend the time doing this?" All right, op day where the battlers are being spawned. Need to disable the camera completely to not mess with the camera position. New camera script for instances. Yeah, I think we should just get rid of this. Yeah. I wanted to do that is if their screen are too small. In that case, we could just provide an option. This would getting rid of player-based camera control would also address the next chunk of text or your next comment. Yeah. So I vote for the following. Have adventurers walk between rooms and get rid of player-based camera control. in instances, have the camera follow the adventurers as they walk. And there's one other thing. What was the other thing? Yeah, that's probably it. All right, so spawning enemies beforehand. I think spawning them beforehand, I recognize what Darkstorm is saying here. The battle system keeps track of who's in the battle. And what we would need to do is have enemies that are in the instance but aren't considered battlers just yet. I think we would, well, let me comment on the actual thing here. Spawning only on stage progression. It's true that it would be better if you could see what enemies and how many you'll face. I don't know if it's important to, oh man, the problem is the way the game is designed right now is I'd always said there'd be instances with like 3 rooms or something like that. And it was always just, I mean, the way this was going to start is always just going to be room 1, room 2, room 3, and then end, and you're done. But in the future, we might have something like room 1 and then a fork. And you might be able to choose to go to like a battle room, or maybe you go downward to a treasure room. Hey, yo, thanks for resubbing. Are you on vacation already? Or did you say it was the end of the month? Are any of the NPCs meant to follow art walkways? Or will they always float around the screen? Yeah, they're meant to follow the walkways. Yeah. Oh, maybe that's what I meant by... No, that's not what I meant by something. Anyway, yes, that is something that we want to do for checkpoint number 2, hopefully. 2 weeks. Yeah, start of July. Gotcha. Well, I hope it's good. And I hope I'm better by then so I can be proper background motivation. Anyway, what I was getting at here is if we have instances with 3 rooms and they just progress 1, 2, 3, and they always go in this order, then there's no real reason for you to see what's about to happen. And Monetic Pine, thank you too for re7. You're both at 52 months. Thank you, thank you. In this case, where you have a room and you potentially avoid battles or get into more battles as a result of this, you might want to see what you're going to get into. However, I don't even think it's worth necessarily seeing which enemies, just that you'll be fighting. So, depending on some other decisions that haven't totally settled yet, we may or may not have to spawn enemies ahead of time without going into like an overwhelming amount of detail. Actually, I don't want to say here. Here's what I'm thinking. If the player can't control the camera, then they won't know whether enemies have spawned yet in the instance. So we can just spawn the next room as soon as the current room, or once the current room is completed. So that's one aspect of this. The other aspect is I don't think it would ever be necessary to see the whole instance at once. Even in the case where we add a choice of which rooms you want to tackle, you wouldn't necessarily need to see which enemies are in those rooms, just that there would be enemies at all. For example, imagine a map that, imagine an instance overview map that only showed T for treasure room, B for battle, and I don't know, skull for the final boss. So you may see 2 paths like this in the map. B, skull. And B, T, B, B, skull. Yeah, something like that. One schmaddle, please. Oh, Zaphoid. Thank you too for the resub. Nice to see everyone resubbing today. Means you're all going to be synchronized next month. Okay, yeah, I'll just leave it at this. So the player can't control the camera, then they won't know whether enemies have spawned yet in the instance. In, I guess, unseen rooms in the instance. Oh, 2 dorks, thank you too. Speaking of all these subscriptions, so I got an email saying that Twitch changed their subscription rates, apparently, or at least in the US. In the US, I think it used to cost $5 per month, and now I think they upped it to $6 per month. And they're keeping the same revenue split, which for me is 50%. So instead of getting, I guess, $2.50 from a US sub, it's going to be $3. I feel like most companies have done something like this over the years. Like Spotify increased their prices, Netflix increased their prices, YouTube Premium increased their prices. So it probably makes sense that Twitch increased their prices too. And I know that the last 3 subs were Prime Gaming, which doesn't technically cost you any extra money. But it's interesting to see how these things change and kind of what Twitch is trying to do. I still wonder what the future of Twitch is for, say, 5 years from now or something. And I guess what I mean is, like, does Amazon keep it? Do they try selling it? Would anyone want to buy it? What do streamers do, or what do they care about? What are the new trends? One of the categories that just arose was like it's called like just sleeping or I'm sleeping here or something like that. And it's literally just people sleeping. I don't know who watches it. Not even sure what Amazon gained from buying it in the first place. I'm not totally sure either. I think when you look at a graph of streaming, how would I do this? I want to just draw. Yeah, so if you look at time and popularity, I think right around Amazon bought it in like 2014, I think streaming was going like this, just shooting upward. And since then, I feel like there are a lot of streaming platforms now, and Twitch is not even the biggest one. I think TikTok is the biggest one, although for programming content, it's probably not as popular on TikTok, I'd guess. But yeah, like now every platform is also a streaming platform, Facebook and Instagram and YouTube and Twitch. And then there are new competitors like Kick that popped up. So yeah, I don't know. And video streaming in general is not cheap. And it makes sense for a company like Amazon to do it cheaply because they control all of the infrastructure as well. Again, Netflix went up by what? About double in the last decade. Yeah. Yeah, they do sell Twitch as a service. Yeah. Hey, Darkstorm. Also, stop PRing for now. Some tasks are a bit too involved. It'd be easier to fix the existing PRs if there are not many of them. Okay, cool. Yeah. And howdy. And thanks for working on all this stuff. Okay, so yeah, I think we can just not spawn enemies until the first battle's done. I.e., let's just not spawn enemies for future battles, only for current ones. And then dungeon variants. Not sure how I'll do this. It'd be nice to have variants. This shouldn't take much time. First pack took me 2 or 3 hours playing with layers. What I'd like to see is the instance manager instantiating end variants in a linear fashion. Only be able to pan the camera left, right within the entire dungeon boundaries. No zooming. Okay. Yeah, the only thing I'm going to comment on here is the panning part. I'm not even sure I'm fine with the idea of variants being in different scenes for now. I just don't even think we need to pan the camera beyond having, well, I just don't think the player needs to pan the camera. Not that you were even saying this in this quote. Yeah. Oh, Kick is using their service. Interesting. Yeah. I mean, Kick looks very much like Twitch. And I don't know how much the service comes with a UI, but the UI looks very much like Twitch. And I just can't imagine how Kick is profitable. They have very good rates for streamers. They probably don't have as many viewers as Twitch does. They're licensing their underlying infrastructure and I guess possibly even the UI. Okay, so I commented on this, which was an issue. I did not comment on the PR. I removed the force tiles because things were put in wrong layers anyway, and I want to recreate it. So is that one of the future ones here? 38. Not sure. Kick is about getting people addicted to crypto gambling. But like I get that at a high level, but Kick needs to somehow feed that enough, right? Like if there's a Kick stream and the stream itself costs whatever, $20 for that stream, just to host, then they need somehow like obviously more than $20 of gambling revenue. Or I'm just these would have to be averages, of course. It's not like every stream has to be profitable. And that would mean getting people to push gambling, right? Or having ads on the platform or something like that. And I know they had some high profile deals. They got some people from Twitch or whatever, and they weren't even exclusive contracts. So I'm not really in the loop about a lot of this stuff. But still, I think it's got to be a tough sell. All right, I probably shouldn't read this right now. I should probably take a break pretty soon. I've been streaming for about 58 minutes, and that means it's almost break time. My general conclusion from all of the first hour, though, is I'm definitely still sick, and I shouldn't do any work that's too intense here, or mentally intense, I should say, because it's probably going to be subpar if I do that. So I think reviewing PRs is probably fine, and I think we can do that, and we've got enough PRs to review. But then, yeah, I'm leaning toward no afternoon stream. What I really, really don't like about this case is nothing's, well, I guess this isn't true what I'm about to say. I was going to say nothing's physically stopping me from working. Like I both want to work and I can work, but I guess that's not really true. I guess I can't work if I'm coming to this conclusion that I shouldn't be doing anything too crazy. Table was a beta feature, but it had actual PRs and labels inside. I would have to I'd have to see how you make one of these. Like if I add a comment, is there a table feature here? Slash commands. What? Slash? Oh, cool. Add markdown table. Rows, columns. Okay, that's not exactly what I would expect, but that works. A few high view count streamers that promote gambling. If smaller streamers switch to Kick, I'm assuming they'll run out of money. Yeah. Yeah, and I guess the problem with a small stream is, like I said, it's not cheap streaming at all. So everyone who decides to stream is like whatever, $5 per stream that's lost. And that is actually money they're paying because they're paying it to Amazon. and Twitch has, I guess, millions of streamers, and I think a lot of those streamers have like 0 or 1 viewer. So yeah. Hey Leaf. Leaf, you've been ignoring my Discord messages. Go read my Discord messages. All right, I'm gonna take a break. I'm gonna stop calling people out while I'm streaming. And then post break, we'll finish looking at this PR. Is it jump time? It's jump time. Oh, it loaded. Okay, cool. I'll be right back. Weird, my voice command isn't working to close this. Let's see, close the game. Okay, that worked. I guess it just wasn't working to just change scenes. Well, whatever. All right, let's get back to the PR here. Okay, so remove forest tiles. Reason is I want to add animation, scrolling next stage. Better if I moved them to a new PR. Execute was causing multiple floating text instances and multiple event emits, which made the instance end early. So I had to push it in this PR. Not sure if we'll use insta-kill for anything else. Debugs win all battles will be changed in future PRs because it kills the currently alive battlers. Also introduced another bug where you can click the button a bunch of times and new enemies will spawn again alongside the adventurers. Battles button. What is this? This can be moved to the insta-kill instead, but then floating text will be rendered anyway. Percent life is less than execute percent. This is in execute buff. Okay, yeah, I think this is fine. Looks good. All right, when adventurers win a fight, they're sent back to battle system through on battle progressed event, where the battle system is reinitialized and a new set of enemies is created. In reality, it's the same set, new clones, but we need some kind of randomizer. Yep. Between the fights, there's a 2-second delay, which will later be used for the transition. During this delay, ability system and effect system are paused so we don't update any cooldowns. Ooh. The ability system is in each instance? I don't actually remember how that works. Ability system. This is inside each instance. Yeah, okay, that's fine. Okay, sounds good. An issue reinitialized in battle system because init creates effect component and subscribes to on died. Issues that we're not recreating the adventurers but sending them to the next fight. Which means I had to add a check to the battle system if effect component already exists and change how it subscribes to on died. Oh, we could also just make it so that it's only the first initialization that does this. But I'll have to see how this code looks. The bot doesn't recognize me anymore. When we subscribe for the first time, we pass a delegate to the health component instead, which is stored within the component and later used to unsubscribe. Oh, that I'm not sure I agree with. When we can't clear all listeners because there's another listener we actually need. We can't simply unsubscribe because this reference will be different. Okay, I would need to look at how this was done. Because I don't think we need to make a new health component at all, but I'll need to see what's going on here. All right, let's go look at this and check this out. GHPR checkout 138. Okay. So this change I saw, I like that. I think that's good. Actually, there's one other tiny change I would probably make here. Let me take a look at it. Yeah, this or this. That way we can have this back. Yeah, I think that looks a little bit nicer. Excuse me. Okay. So health component on death event handler. Clear the existing listener and subscribe with a new one to prevent multiple event emits. Okay, this function on its own is fine. I think it's that I want to see why this is used and take a look at whether there's a different way we could do this. So let's go find the caller of this. It's here. And this is in init. I see. Okay, I think what we need is we initialize a battle system, but we don't know all of the battlers. Excuse me. So when we have new battlers, like new enemies, we only need to call init with those. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I see. Make new enemies past the same adventurers. Yeah. I know what you're saying. So the way I would kind of look at this, maybe, like here's one way we could do this. We could have something like public void initialize battlers and take in just some of them and run these things. And then take in for init like all battlers and set this here. And then call initialize battlers, all battlers. And then in the future, when we have something like public void add new enemies, we just initialize the new enemies. Something like this would work. And that way we're not calling initialize on the adventurers multiple times. I think I'd prefer something like this so that health components don't have to worry about multiple subscriptions. But I'll take a look and let's see how this is done. Battle system is paused. Isn't pausing a node something that Godot does? Godot pause node. Use code get tree.pause. If you want to pause only once, set its pause property to true and visible to false. Yeah, I think you can just set pause equal to true. Let's take a look at that. Oh, I see why this was done. But yeah, I think we can just pause the ability system in general here and not need to worry about this. And then process wouldn't be called at all. Okay. Hey, sentient being. Yeah, I'm back. It's been 28 days. Solve the ready problem in field initialization. You can just instantiate your class and attach to the scene. But you have to create everything through the code, assuming you don't do anything in the editor. Yeah. I'm aware of that way of doing things, and I think it's sometimes slightly more tedious. So I think we'll need to settle on something eventually. And I guess it depends on whether we have something in Godot as an editor. Okay, let's take a look. Where does is paused get used? Is paused, that's here. And we set it to go to next stage and then false, yeah. So what we can do is we could just pause all of the systems, I guess, inside the pause equals true. We could get this in the ability system. We don't keep track of the ability system, but we could do that here. Where do we add that? The instance, I guess, add? It's the instance that should know that it's doing this stuff then, huh? Yeah, we have the ability system and the effect system. I feel like this should know about it. And we probably need to pause the battle system eventually anyway. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so I think I would change this around to go to next stage is something the instance does, not that the battle does. Alternatively, what we could do is we could just make a new battle system altogether. Yeah, I think that makes sense. And then we don't run into this double initialization thing anyway. But then adventurers need to be tracked by the instance. And I don't think that happens right now, does it? No. Okay. Yeah, I think there are some things we're going to need to change here. Yeah, we're going to need to stop using C#, switch to Rust. Then I think we ditch Rust for Java. No, seriously though, I think instances need to track adventurers. Now, what makes something an adventurer? We have an adventurer scene. What is that? It's pretty much nothing. Yeah, it's pretty much nothing. Then add Lua scripting. Let's install JavaScript 1.0. Yeah, so at a high level, here's what I'm thinking about here. Instances should track adventurers so that they can move between battles. Each battle should have its own battle system. And when moving between battles, the instance should pause all of its systems. Or, well, not all of its systems, but pause the ability and effect systems. I'm not sure it even makes sense to... Not totally sure about this one. What does the battle system do? Gets targets, checks the end of battles, process goes through any dead battlers, heal projectiles. Okay, the reason being, here's one of the questions I have. So like in battle number 1, you get poisoned, let's say. Should you take damage while walking to the next battle? Like, if so, it would mean you could die in between battles and lose the instance. Yeah, probably we say no to that. Yeah. Consider removing the rule that tells you to use collections to switch to list everywhere. Yeah, yeah, that would probably be a good change. Okay, so yeah, no as an answer to this. So you just don't take damage while walking. Winning a battle by 0.1% health means you've won, move on. Just to be clear here, what I'm talking about is you have battle 1 and you're on your way to battle 2. If you have like 1 HP left and you're poisoned, what I'm talking about is, can you die in this little transition phase, like in this arrow? Because if you have 1 HP left, you're gonna die in battle 2, and then you'll lose. And I don't think we're gonna be doing partial rewards like you won battle 1, so you get 2 items instead of getting 10 items. I don't know if that changes your mind at all, but still, yeah, probably we shouldn't allow you to die in between the battles. Fine. What this also means, though, just to be clear here, is that we wouldn't be running any effects. So if you have a heal over time thing, and let's say you were at 1 HP, you also won't heal while you're walking to the next battle. No. Oh no. Oh, you're saying just clear off poison in between battles? Because I don't think we should do that. Because the whole point of these dungeons is they're persistent fights, chains of fights. And your HP, if you're at 1 HP at the end of the first fight, you will enter the next fight with 1 HP. That's pretty important. Otherwise, it probably just kind of feels like you're running the same battle over and over. Yeah. Okay. I see. We were just in different kind of understandings of this world. I played Earthbound for a very small amount of time. I'd probably have enjoyed the game if I'd played it, 20 years ago, but I waited too long. The character just randomly walking in circles. There were apparently a lot of status effects in that game, right? Well, anyway, this was about this part here. Each battle should have its own battle system. And the reason I said I wasn't totally sure is that what does a battle system do? But I don't think it's important. Yeah. But yeah, this stuff like current stage and total stages should not be in the battle system. It should be in the instance. It should track all, track much of the state that the battle currently tracks. Current stage, total stages. current stage, total stages, the adventurers themselves, so they can move between battles. So we can't get rid of the effect system, right? What does this do? Oh, wait a second. This just keeps track of a battle system and then processes stuff. Oh, we could get rid of this then. In fact, we could get rid of... Well, when I say get rid of, I mean we can make a new one. What does the ability system do? Same deal. Interesting. Each battle could have its own set of systems. Battle plus abilities plus effect. Then we don't even need to pause them. We could just recreate them all together. How about this? None of the damage over time effects can kill you outright, but they'll bring you your lowest HP possible. In which case, poison's still bad because a single hit from a weak enemy when you're at 1% will still kill you. I mean, you could do that. I got to say this. I feel like the way this is going to work, like I said, there's battle 1, and then you like walk to next room, and then you get in battle 2, and then walk, and then you get into like the boss fight, and then you end the whole instance. So if you are at, let's say, 1 HP at the end of battle 1, whether you die walking to the next room or whether you die in the next battle doesn't really make much of a difference. Either way, you're going to lose. So is there a reason? Is there a reason not to just have you die walking in the next room? I feel like it adds to the tension a little bit. So I'm torn. Maybe we should just test it. Maybe too much work to change everything if it's not what you envisioned. Yeah, I think that's a good idea, Darkstorm. But also, I think... Yeah, I think it's a good idea. Do you have an opportunity to heal? You might in the future. Like, I kind of mentioned this earlier. Right now, yes, all instances are going to look like this. But in the future, it might be battle number 1 and then like choice room. And you might have... Your choice could be something like heal 20% life, or like gain 2 items, or skip next battle, something like this. Like you get a choice, and then yes, maybe one of these is just heal up. But this is something that we might do. We're not definitely doing. And it's going to be based on how the game feels at any given time. So we won't really know for at least a month about that. All right, this isn't really necessary, since pausing can also work just fine here. When moving between battles, the instant should pause the ability and effect system, as opposed to checking the battle system for all of that. Anyway, a lot of this is very straightforward changes. Are battles deterministic? There will probably be randomness in the battles. There's already randomness, but there might be even more randomness in the battles. But as an example of where there's randomness right now, like we have this ability and there's a chance to activate. And we have, actually, I guess a lot of the abilities do something like that, right? Like even Crush, yeah, has a chance to miss, has a chance to disorient. So yeah, there are lots of chances of things happening in the game. And I don't think that's a problem. I feel like that'll add to some of the excitement that happens here. Okay. Event raised when the adventurers defeat all enemies on the current stage and are about to move to the next one. This is something I think the instant should probably handle too. Yeah. Interesting. To reinitialize the battlers in the same battle system. Okay, yeah, I would change some of this around. Excuse me. Spawn new enemies, create enemy battlers, and hit them with that. Yeah. Okay. Hey, Tensei. Generate a seed for each battle so you can replay them for debugging. That might be needed eventually, or maybe having a log or something for battles. But for right now, I don't think it's, well, when I say right now, I mean like reviewing this PR, I don't think it's super important, but it's definitely something we could do in the future. So yeah, I think I want to change a little bit of this around. I think part of the problem with doing that though is that these other PRs are going to be based on this. Well, let me make some commits to this. Let's start with the one that I had here. This isn't needed. This was just a tiny readability change. Just refactor or like restructure code slightly. This just saves us from having to tab in the body of whatever this is, execute buff. You can always take notes on the changes and apply them later. That's true. Yeah, that's true. Okay, maybe we'll do that. And that way this isn't going to cause like a cascading set of problems. If I sync this, is this going to go to the right thing? Get remote -b. I think I had to push this back to your branch. Git push dark add instance rooms. All right, that should have modified the PR. Do I do freelance work? I don't do freelance work, no. Doesn't your VS Code show where it goes? It probably just did. And I probably could have just done what I saw there. All I changed here was this one file. Yeah, this went to the right spot. And I just think this looks a little bit cleaner due to tabbing. Okay, so we can check this in, and I can just keep track of all the things that I wanted to change here. Moving between these, instance should pause the ability and effect system as opposed to checking battle system product. Yeah. Okay, let's go write this down somewhere. Where is my to-do list? I think I used GitLens a very, very long time ago. And when I say use, I mean I had it installed and never really used any features of it. So that's why I just never really bothered getting it again. Like it might help with some things. So changes I want to make to PRs. Okay, there we go. All right. So now we could check this in. I want to take a look at how this looks in game. I look well rested. I still feel very tired. I have definitely been sleeping a lot. Although not like a crazy amount. My wife also got sick and she slept for like 15 hours on multiple days. And that's what I wanted to do and just couldn't. I felt like I was waking up after 8 hours. So last night I took some like sleep medicine, like NyQuil is what we call it here at least. And that helped. I went to bed at like, I want to say like 9:30 or something. And woke up at 7-ish, 7 o'clock probably. So yeah, I got enough sleep. I can feel that I'm not operating at 100%. I know that. Yeah, it's going around. Yeah. All right, so start battle. So Dark mentioned this, that the instance looks a little different. Let's speed up the game a bit. So what's going to happen is I think it's just going to like essentially look like it respawns this bat. Yeah. And then they fight. And then I probably cannot win the third fight. Yep. Which means we just lose it. So now we grant money and then level up our adventurers and give ourselves a bunch of skills. And now we should win the first fight all the time. Yes, that's dead. That's dead. And it dies again, and we get our items. Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, I think at a high level, this is good. And we just need to change some of how this is structured. And I will do that in the future. So let's put this here. See this PR. Okay. So merge this. Excuse me. Yeah, the bullet points need to be fixed. I'm not going to bother with that. I know what you're talking about. I know this looks weird, but like these are just going to be tasks for myself. All right, the next number is 143. Expand on instance tile maps. Second part of 137 adds 2 rooms to the existing instances. Note that instances have kind of been cropped to the viewport because you'll only be able to pan horizontally and the camera will be locked to the instance view. Sprite ordering issue addressed in 142. Okay. First rooms have been changed. I wanted to completely remake everything. Wasn't really anything new to add. Oh, I see. Okay, got it. So was anything changed to the camera script in this case? No, I see. When Dark mentioned the whole panning horizontally part, that's what made me think there might have been. Kind of afraid of pushing more code. What was the reason for the fear there of pushing more code? Was it like having to change too much? Was it probably conflicts? Okay. Yeah, I will say it's not typical to work on like a 2 developer project and have 1 developer disappear for a month. So I think like this was not an ideal situation to be in. Yeah, ideally I would have been able to do some work or like unblock you or something, and I feel bad that I couldn't. I sort of mentioned this already, but the way that our days would go, I didn't talk about the specifics, I guess, but I cannot type anything right now. At 5:30 we'd like wake up, and that way we could try to leave by 6, and then we'd walk for like 5 to 7 hours depending on breaks. And then it was like lunch, shower, sleep for a bit, and then relax for a bit, and then dinner. And then at maybe like 9 or 10 p.m. was go to sleep. So there wasn't a lot of time to do stuff, and I only had my phone, and it would have been just obnoxious to review PRs on a phone. So yeah, I thought I'd have more time, or I thought, I don't know, I just pictured the trip going differently. With that said, I guess none of that matters. I'm back now, and I'm looking at this stuff. Oh yeah, part of what I want to write here is we should be able to get rid of the subscription stuff in health component, since we shouldn't be initializing adventurers multiple times. What does it even mean to initialize battlers? Oh, make sure they have components and stuff. Yeah, I think we can just initialize battlers when we create them. There might be more to it than that. Maybe not, though. Okay. Let's keep looking through this. So this is all the same. This is where rebasing would really help. Is there... I need to resolve conflicts anyway. How did I create conflicts here? That's strange. Fire. Fire.tscn. This is this is the torches, I think. This is glitched right now. Yeah, that has to be a glitch. Wait, right? I don't know why all this stuff is showing up here. I don't think it should be. There we go. Yeah, it's just this, right? Yep. Am I sunburned? I don't think so. Yeah, I was using sunblock for almost every single day. Okay, so yeah, why does instance have fire in it? Because I don't think it should be there. Wait, but instance has a tile map as well. Okay, maybe I am just not paying attention to this. Let me go take a look. Instance. Oh, I see. Okay, yeah, fine. Having fire is totally fine. Yeah. Okay. Then let's say to accept the current change. Actually, wait a second. What? This has a resource of fire.png. Yeah, I'm definitely confused about this. I'm not sure whether this is needed. I guess maybe we could just search for fire and see if, or not. That's not how that would work. Whoops, and now I'm breaking stuff. What I meant is we can search for the ID and see where that is. It doesn't show up anywhere. Huh. At some point, I think you made a scene, but I just had sprite nodes. I had made sprite nodes, yeah. I don't know. I still don't know what we should do here. I guess I'll just accept the current change and let's just write down to take a look if this is needed. See if the fire scene is used. See if instance uses the fire scene or just fire sprites. Okay. Here I'm going to assume we want the current change as well. Expand on instance tile maps. Is that what we're... Oh, wait. Oh, maybe I'm doing this poorly. Okay, you know what? let's undo this. Let's accept the current change in both of these. Or the incoming change, I mean, in both of these. There. Okay, let's save that. Now execute buff. I want to accept what's in main. Yeah. Okay. So there's our merge. Now we can take a look at this again. And yeah, we only end up with one file changed. I think this should be correct now. Yeah, let's try it out. GHPR list. Check out 143. Stash changes. What did I do? Huh. I don't know what I did. Didn't I add that as an effect to burn? I probably did. I don't fully remember. Hey, Metal Storm. How's it going? Okay, so we're going to go do grant most things and then start a battle. Whoa, that looks cool. Well, it looks like it's... Oh, this is my not being maximized thing. There we go. No, wait. Yeah, there's still some gray at the bottom. I think that's... Huh, I think it's slightly wrong. Yeah, I haven't been here in a while. I haven't been streaming for the last 28 days. I've been on vacation. Did this have 3 rooms? I didn't even pay attention to that. It should kill this, and then it should go to the next room, right? There it goes. There's the next room. Yeah. Hey, Toulouse. Hey, L colon Q. I did. Yeah, it's a resolution problem. Although I thought maximizing fixed that, but I guess not. I did have a nice break. I also got sick at the end of that break, and I am not feeling like I'm at 100%. So I don't think I'm going to stream this afternoon. And I don't know. I feel bad saying this, but I think I'm just going to keep doing minimal streams until I feel better. Like I probably should just not stream at all until I feel better, actually. Let me take a look at what my schedule is. The next interview is on June 28th, and the next mentoring session is on June 26th. Okay, so both are next week. No, wait, that's not true. One is, what is this, Friday? Yeah, no, both are next week. Yeah. Yeah, I should be better by then. I'd better be better by then. Thank you, L colon Q. Chad will take it on my sick days. Yeah. Well, there's still a lot of stuff going on this year, so I do need to take more time off at some point. Tomorrow, my in-laws are visiting, and in August, there's going to be another trip, and then in October, another visit, and then I think that's it. So this trip is going to be probably the longest period of time I need to take off. I think it's going to be another week. But I'm going to hope to not do too much more than that. Next PR adds new tile maps. Well, this one looked good. I like this. So let's go merge that. Did I read everything here? Yeah. Okay, let's close all of this stuff now. Next PR is 146, add transition. When you're on the job, botland time doesn't count. Oh no. LSRP is my boss now. Yeah, thanks, Tolos. Yeah, it was a good trip. I was saying earlier it was very unique in that you were sort of just expected to meet a bunch of strangers and talk to them. And so we made some friends. We'll probably stay in touch with some people, and yeah, very, very interesting. Also, I started playing a particular Picross game, Nonograms Katana, which I was saying on iOS is not as good. Oh, they have an online version? Hang on a second. I did not know this. They do. I really didn't know that. Okay. Interesting. Well, anyway, I've been playing a ton of this. I love Picross. And nope, there's no way to show you in an actual better view, huh? I wanted to. Okay, well, whatever. I'll just search for this. For those who've never seen this kind of game before, it is that a video? What in the world? I just want to show like the basic thing. Okay, yeah. So if you haven't seen this game before, there are numbers above each row and column, and they tell you how many filled in squares there should be. And that's it. So it's sort of like Sudoku, and you use logic and you figure it out. And it's pretty mechanical after you've done like thousands of these. But it's a pretty good phone app, and it's free. All right, third part of this closes these couple of things. What are these? These are going to have multiple rooms. Yeah, this I don't believe in this anymore. And I'm going to write a little update here. Update. I don't think this should be the case anymore. It probably, we could just tell you how far you made it in the stats screen at the end. Yeah, and I kind of mentioned this. I don't really feel like I needed the vacation too much. I think I just needed a little bit of time off. Like a week would have probably been fine. I think what was bugging me more than that was just the other parts of the routine that I'd gotten kind of into. Like I said, the cat was just very sort of needy when it came to playtime. And I don't mind playing with a cat, but like 90 minutes a day just felt like way too much. And yet she was just constantly like, play, play, play. So that was kind of annoying. And then just like, I don't know, there's all this stuff that just sort of piles up. So it was good to get a reset. But I don't feel like the work stuff was what I needed a reset from. Okay, so closes that one and then closes this one. What is this one? Implement extra rooms. Okay, yeah. And I left a comment there. PR creates a tween on instance tile map and scrolls it to the left once we kill all enemies. Refer to them as stages, but I guess both would work. Yep. Hide the adventurers during the transition. Supposed to be part of the next PR, but that one will do something different in this process. Adding animation. Problems we don't have anything in our sprites pack, so we'll have to make an animation ourselves. Over the smoke stuff. I think if we should have animations for walking though, and I do think walking is how we should have them transition. When you kill all enemies, tile map moves left. Only the tile map we scrolled, so we just spawn everything at the same place. I don't know about that. Like I see what Darkstorm's saying, and it'll probably work for now, but yeah, we might want to change that in the future. When the stage transition starts, all projectiles are removed. Killing enemies with damage over time triggers the transition. We'll still make the projectiles move to the target position. We don't want that. Let me think about that. I think it'll look a little weird to just have them all get deleted. Also, how did I code the projectiles? They have a target. Target location. Okay, yeah. And if the entity's dead, then just return. Yeah, I don't know about that. Just a quick solution to make it look like you move through the rooms. I had to remove projectiles because they just moved to the next room. Trying to picture this. Yeah, I'll need to see. I think we could do it without removing the projectiles. See if we can stop removing projectiles at the end of a single battle. I think it'll look strange. But yeah, I'm okay with this being a temporary thing. And then when it finishes, adventures are visible again. New set of monsters will spawn. Comment on Battle System 223 explains it. I added this temporarily until we figure out what would work best. What I do is add an initial delay that matches the enemy death animation time and then remove them all completely. Reason why I didn't add it now is because I didn't know if it would be changing the fade out time. Okay. Yeah, some of these pieces, I guess we've got other things we're waiting on too. Yeah. Once I uncomment, I'm sure I'll see what you're talking about. And I think we can address that. I extracted the init logic from instance into separate methods. It was getting a bit long. I didn't like it. Walk through the code at some point and find possible code quality improvements. Okay, let's take a look first at that instance bit, because that's what's in my mind right now. Where is that? Here it is. Initialize battle system, initialize event. Okay. Okay, now let's look through everything. Wait, whoa. This shouldn't be here again. Did this not merge? Oh boy. Oh man. All right. Add transition between instance rooms. Incoming had both of these. And we no longer do this. I'm going to say accept incoming change, and we're going to see if this ends up looking correct. Yeah. Because I didn't change this stuff. So I think Dark should have done this correctly. And that I didn't add in my own stuff here. Cool. This we're going to say accept current change. I want to change that. Battle system. Current stage, total stages. All right, I think we want the incoming change for all of these too. Yeah. Is this a property now? Yeah. Okay, what do we have for this one? Incoming invokes this. Yeah. That's fine, fine, fine. Okay, cool. Mark is resolved. And then this. There are two conflicts here. This is one, which again, I'm just going to accept incoming for. And where's the other one here? Yeah. Okay. I wonder how many more of those I'll probably have to do. Maybe another couple. Oh, well, now the number of changes should have been greatly minimized. Yeah. We could add a delay to display the last enemy dying, proceed with the transition. I think just the walking animation might be fine to make it so the enemies show how we expect. But now this also makes me wonder, should battlers be in the instance? And the battle system knows what, yeah. Okay, I like this idea. The battle system just tracks certain ones. So I'll write this down. And the enemies themselves, so that each battle system can only track the ones for the current stage, but we can still show corpses / fade outs of the previous room. Yeah, while adventurers are walking. Okay. All right. Player progresses to the next stage. Only the tile maps will be scrolled to not move the battlers and possibly the projectiles. Oh, I think I see what's going on. Yeah, I think we need to stop scrolling the tile map. I think we need to just move where the camera is pointing. And then change how enemies spawn. Yeah. Probably stop scrolling the tile map in instance and instead pan the camera and then change where enemies spawn. Display instance. That would require you to disable manual scrolling. Yeah, which I think is a good idea. I left a long comment on a different part of a GitHub issue somewhere saying I don't see much of a need for the player to be able to change the panning of the camera. Also, even if the player can change the panning, maybe we still want to just automatically pan it during that time. Okay, remove all projectiles. Okay, yeah, there are. I'll take a look at this, but I think there are some things I would want to change here. Toggle battler visibility. Yeah. All right, this is 146, which I think I already checked out, but I should check out again. Easier to influence. So I went with that. Yeah. No, that makes sense. And I think, like, don't get me wrong. I know there are some things I want to change here, but I'm not trying to say like, oh, all this code is bad or something like that. I think part of it is thinking about what is the responsibility of something. And when I think about it, the instance is really a set of battle rooms. And when you look at it that way, then you think of what should battle systems store like current stage, and probably not like the instance should store it. And then same thing if you think like, okay, adventurers need to go between rooms. So should a battle system store them anymore? Like, no, probably the instance should have them since the instance is what is a set of those rooms. So those responsibilities help a little bit to think about where things should go. And then when I think about the camera panning and zooming, I think what was the reason for it? And like I said, I think it was like to read small text or like look at battle details, like fireballs or whatever, being able to see things. And maybe that's not super important. And if we do decide that, yeah, the player should be able to pan the camera around or zoom, maybe we just do it within a certain boundary. So like you can only zoom in on the current battle and only to 2x, and then you can only pan within the current boundaries of the battle. So, okay, let's take a look at what this is. Okay, so grant most things and start a battle. So this will win the battle. It pans to the next battle. Yeah, so I think this definitely looks good as a temporary thing for now. And I think the walking between battles should maybe happen in checkpoint 3. We just shouldn't worry about this too much. I do want to see the thing with projectiles. Yeah, okay, I saw it there. Oh, floating text looks messed up. Something weird had just happened there. I wonder where floating text is created for battles. Where do we do it? Mental swiftness. Here. We create it on the entity, and the entity is hidden. I see. Okay, yeah. Yeah, we gotta change that at some point. Okay, well, since a lot of this is gonna get changed, I don't think it's probably worth doing too much right now and like going through and nitpicking lines of code. What do we have here? What is display instance? The one thing that struck me as a little bit strange. Can you check the third room? Not sure if the tile map is there actually. Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, it looks like it's there. Oh, I'm probably gonna lose this battle. All right, well, let's do this. Let's do win all battles. Win all battles again. Yeah, looks good. Whoa, I shot like 5 fireballs. Neat. All right, so what does this do? Display instance ID. Go through each instance ID in the enumeration. And if it matches, I see. Tile map equals get node tile maps. What? That part doesn't make sense to me. Get no tile maps. Oh, this only gets visible nodes? No. I don't think this is doing the right thing. Or this isn't being used. Tile maps. There are 3 of these. How is this getting... Oh, I see. Oh, I got it. Because first it's getting the parent volcano, dungeon, or forest. Yeah, we'll need to change this in the future, I think, too. For now, I think this is fine. Yeah, fine. Okay, let me look through some of the other stuff really fast. I think it's just that I want to address. Yeah, I think it's just that. What happened in that third battle? Looked like it moved to the next battle when the character should have died. Oh, I was just clicking the debug win battles button. So I clicked win, and yeah, the character looked like it should have been dead, but it was forced to move to the next one anyway. Yeah. But yeah, this is definitely shaping up to look more and more like a real game. At some point, I got to transition into just music creation. I'm going to try to do some of that in my free time. And I'm still debating on, there's this thing called the Polyend Tracker. And I'm like, should I buy this? Will this help? Is this a good idea or just a dumb thing that's going to burn a hole in my wallet? And I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. I should probably just stick to the stuff I have. Okay, so I want to look at display instance, but I also want to take a quick break. So let me just write that. Look at display instance. See if I can make it slightly cleaner than merge. Yeah, I'll be back in just a little bit. Is it jump time? It's jump time. All right. Well, let me know when you can see me again. Close the game. Hopefully that worked. Oh, wait, no, that wouldn't work because... Yeah, you can see me. Yeah, okay, so I I was trying to figure out why saying I'm back didn't actually put me back onto the right scene. I right-clicked the microphone and went to properties and it just crashed OBS. I do not know if I'm even streaming on YouTube anymore. I am probably not. I don't really care too much. But let's go take a look. This back onto the right scene. Wait, it is back. Okay, cool. Not like anyone's watching on YouTube. All right. Well, let's finish up what I wanted to do here, which was look at instance and then display instance. Yeah. So this goes through each one and then sets the visibility correctly and gets the correct tile map from there. I think I'll leave it for now. I think we could do this slightly differently in the future. Yeah. Oh, what's this? Godot couldn't access something from the main thread, so I had to defer it. Okay. All right, so merge this. And then implement Godot testing. Implements the go.test package. They capitalize a D, which is why I'm saying it go dot. And when I say they, I mean I'm pretty sure the package creators did that. Finally managed to get this to work, and testing Godot's API is now available. Included almost all ECS tests in this PR. Almost all because I don't have the code coverage yet. Need to look at the coverlet tool first. Has working Jump Royale. I didn't have a VS Code task for that, and I forgot how it worked. Added more info in the README on how to run those tests. Only thing you need is a Godot 4 console environment variable that points to the Godot's console executable. Do I have something like that already? I added some random Godot thing somewhere, didn't I? Yeah, Godot 4. So I need a Godot 4 console. And it's got to be the mono version of it. So I could probably just put this here. Could also be an accent thing. Yeah. I'll stick to saying Godot. But at least for this Godot test thing, maybe it was meant to be different. Tests have to be inside the game source, otherwise it will never discover the test. They're under game/test.chickensoft. Oh wait, is this the Chickensoft thing? Oh yeah, okay. I didn't realize. I forgot the name of it. Do you have the console executable on Mac? Oh, it's different from whatever I was just doing? I don't know. LS tree. Wait, what? There's only just this thing? I have mono ships with 2 executables. Yeah, it looks like I just have Godot. I don't see anything else. Huh. Mac OS Godot console app? Might not work on Mac. If that's the case, I I had tested the Chickensoft stuff before though, right? And I think it had worked. Check if it works on Mac. Yeah, I guess I'll have to see. Okay. You have a main scene that either loads your game, which in reality is main menu, or right now town, or runs the test. Change the entry point to be the new scene, which seems to be correctly opening the town scene despite the code being built with. Okay, hold on a second. New scene. What is the new scene? Main, I guess. Yeah. And are there conflicts here? No. Text if run test argument exists and just runs the game instead if that argument was not present. Checking that we don't publish a debug build is probably something we can do a different way. Although I'm not totally sure how. Okay, I could think of a way. Maybe what we could do, here's just a random idea, right? We have some like command line argument, which is like check for debug. And when you run that argument, it just prints either true or false based on whether it's a debug build. And then we have a command line test that just runs like, game.exe -- check for debug, and then just sees is it true or false. That's a way of doing it. I mean, it's not, the best way, but it'd be something. Hang on one second. Okay. All right. Based on their demo, this is the minimum template. Their testing is mostly unused. They expose this property in case we want to spawn objects. Oh man, I feel like either the medicine is wearing off or I'm just getting tired. Everything executes in one frame. When you use queue free, it'll do nothing if you have more tests to run. Okay, interesting. So I guess let's try getting this. GHPR list, checkout 148. Okay, then we go look at the README and we figure out how to run tests. Make sure you have this set to the path of the console executable, which might not even work for me, I guess. Open and run, select this. This probably won't work because I need to restart VS Code anyway. Like it's not going to find the environment variable, I'd guess. Configure debug type CLR is installed but not supported in this environment. Well, that's too bad. Interesting though, there's core CLR. I'll try that one. Okay. An exception of type argument null exception occurred, was not handled in user code. This sounds like an expected issue though, that I don't actually care to debug here. Okay, well, it looks like the tests are running. It looks like I just need to change that launch to use core CLR. I wonder if this would break dark. Let's try this. Property program missing. And what if I change this to? I guess now it's not different from the other one, so it's going to be debugging. anyway, yeah. Okay. So if we're gonna do that, yeah, I can't use the main executable, yeah. Now, like I said, I don't have this accessible right now, Godot 4 console. Although I also don't have it pointing at anything different. It's just pointing the same executable, so I guess we delete that. But I had tried the Chickensoft test and it seemed to have worked. I guess I just don't want debugging when I do this. How do I have it not break on exceptions? User unhandled exceptions, I guess. Just get rid of that. Oh, there we go. Okay, well that works. Yeah, that works. So yeah, 13 tests passed. Okay. Yeah, I think this is good then. All right, let's take a look at the changes. Yeah, so I would need to use this one. I should probably write this down because I'm going to forget. Okay, so running on Mac OS. Run ensure the Godot 4. That should have already been mentioned somewhere though, right? Sure, the Godot 4 environment variable is set, e.g. this, and then run the steps below, but with, what is it, Godot test for test debugging. Yeah, and that should be in launch.json, right? Yeah, I can just copy paste it. The task named this. And then uncheck the box in VS Code. I guess in VS Code, uncheck breakpoints, user unhandled exceptions. Yep, cool. Okay. Yeah, I think I'll delete this one. Yeah, the second one should work in GitHub Actions. Yeah. Okay. All right, let's take a look through some of this. So now when we launch the game through here, this should all just work how it used to work, right? Yeah. So what's the point of this main scene? This is what the tests use? Wait, the application is set to use this. Are there two project.godot files now? Whoops. Don't you whoops at me. Game has this one. Test.chickensaw. No, I don't totally understand that. The main scene run is main, but what does main do? As a script. Oh, here we go. I see. Yeah. Get tree, change scene to file. Set it to town. Okay. Got it. Yeah. I'm still not sure I know when the whoops triggers. It's There are a lot of things that trigger it. It's the general like bonk sound of the OS, but then it also happens in the terminal for a lot of normal actions, like pressing tab to try to tab complete something. So when I'm streaming, I try not to tab complete things because I don't like how it makes the sound. Okay, I get it. So now ECS tests throws when adding to null entity. Yeah, all right. This is easier to look at in here, I bet. Test node, test scene.add. Interesting. Trigger equals false. What are these used for? On component added equals on component added, on component removed, and then subtract them at the end. I see. Yeah. Okay. Let me look at these then. All right, so can't add to a null entity. What is helper component? Why does this exist? Is it because component is abstract? Yes. Okay. We could just make it a health component or something, but that's totally fine. All right, throws when adding null component. It's good. Throws when adding component twice. Yeah, for now this should break the test, but in the future we might want that. Can add component. Yeah. Can remove component. Add component. Get, make sure it's there. Remove it, make sure it's not there. Looks good. Removes only the requested component. So remove a helper component, make sure it's null, make sure this is not null. Yep. Throws when retrieving from null node. Throws when retrieving from non-existing container. Okay. Throws when no component was retrieved. This, by the way, only probably works because another node had added the components container to it. Yeah, which, I mean, it's fine. But if this test were to ever run first, this test would fail, I think. So if we ever run them all in parallel, I think this would mess up. But I don't think that's a big deal. I think the way we would complete this test, though, is just add the helper component to it. In fact, let's do that. There. And that way, this test alone will work. I don't know if you can just run the individual test. Maybe there's like a, I don't know. I don't know how you do that. What we could do, we could delete all of the test methods and confirm that what I said is even true. Yeah, this. So we put this back in here, we delete this line, and then we try running the test. I click this. I think it should fail. Hey, monkey, and thanks. Yeah, it's good to be back. Good to be in the swing of things again. I'm just not fully well yet, so I feel like I'm very sluggish in thinking about things. What happened here? Test passed. Why doesn't that fail? I didn't think it should have a components node. In fact, if I say components 2 in here, what happens? There's setup. I did see that there's setup, but this doesn't actually, oh, unless test node, oh. Test nodes adds in the component holder. This probably shouldn't be done actually. But I see. Yeah, because we have it get added automatically. Like if I delete the setup, or just delete this part, I guess. Most tests will probably still work. And then some will fail. Make a sick branch. No burnout. Burnout's not a problem right now, at least. I mean, maybe toward the end of the project or something, but yeah, for now it feels fine. I don't think I'll be able to work as much as I wanted to this week just because of the sickness. But yeah, I got to give myself the time to get better. And I'm not at 100% yet. This is actually still passing. Get a helper component from that. What did I? Maybe this is coded so that this can't fail? Get the container, then throw if null. Yeah, it should be an argument null exception. Oh, wait, yeah, of course. Right. This, I see. I see. Yeah. Yeah, it's passing correctly because it throws. Yeah. This is me not being at 100% and not paying attention to things. All right, the other tests I want to see, they should all probably pass because everything that needs that container and doesn't have it should create it. And I think this will actually make the test slightly better. But let's see. Yeah, 13 passed. Yeah, I think we should delete this setup then. This line here. In which case this can just be a node 2D. Hello, Adam, even if we have no way of knowing you're the original. And I cannot confirm whether I am either. I did enjoy the break, yeah. It was good. I got sick at the end of it. I am probably not going to do much longer of a stream today, and I'm probably not going to come back for the afternoon. It's currently... Wait a sec. Oh, right. OBS crashed. I'm like, why is my uptime 23 minutes? Yeah, it's currently about 11. I've been streaming now for, I don't know, 2.5 hours. And I just, I don't know. I need to just rest. I might not even try making any, I might not try doing any work tomorrow. Component remove you deleted is required to test specific execution path. Let me see. Okay, I won't mess with this, but I'd like to see code coverage at some point, and that way I could tell what I'm doing. So I'll revert this, I'll revert this. I'm going to keep the README changes. That I think is good. So clarify running on Mac OS and README. Currently on the lead code grind. How are you liking it so far? I feel like it starts and it's fun enough. So there's a sync changes button here and it says what I'll be pushing to, right? What does this button do? Push. Oh. How do I see where this is pushing? It just has push and like clearly, I don't know. There's push to. I would want to push to dark. And I think if I didn't do this, I'd be pushing to the origin. Bottom left. Oh, darn it. I missed it. Oh, well. Anyway, yeah, maybe you're right. I have a feeling I'd be pushing to origin, though. What is this button? Open a remote window. Yeah, I think that's what I would have been doing. Okay, well, that looks good. Test node, town is now main, readme. Got some more stuff in here. Yeah, this looks good. Will be easier to check all this. Yeah. Yeah, thank you for doing this, Darkstorm. I think this is really good. All right, so there's my one little change at the end there. I think this is fine. Okay, next up. Well, let's wait for that to do. Yep, good, cool. Free the bought items node. Part of 149. Inspect leaked resources. Need to debug. You'll notice lots of warnings about leaked resources. Customer buys an item. Item node is not freed and creates one orphan node. Removes a child item, but it's never freed. Oh, this is really good to look into. And all we had to do here is add in a free. Display item, remove it from there, and then display item not queue free. Oh, because the customer is deleting this from existence. Yeah, of course. Oh, man. Yeah, this is really good work, Dark. These are still in use. There might be a way to do this. Anyway, yeah, looks great. So let's expand the context of this. So buy the item, display item, tc.target.remove item. And then item value we get, and then queue free it. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. Good, good, good. Merge. All right, and then one last PR. Add a shop/storeroom level condition check. This should probably be pretty quick, right? If I'm not mistaken. Implements level to storeroom and shop, which is later used to prevent further upgrades when we reach the maximum. Both objects have a concept of maximum item displays. I changed to the maximum level, and there's no node lookup or calculation from list, just an incremented number, and the current level is used for item display positioning. Moved constants to game constants because I think it's easier to manage from one place, even if it took me a while. Yeah, I can't tell if these are supposed to be two different sentences. It took me a while to figure out when the actual upgrade of shop and storeroom upgrades happen. Actual upgrade of shop and storeroom. Okay, where does that happen right now? Because I think town triggers that. Storeroom, yeah, here. Upgraded storeroom.invoke. Yep. And then we can see in storeroom, add next item display. Okay. Wasn't looking forward to it, but I've actually enjoyed it, forcing me to brush up on concepts against my will. Yeah, I think starting out on the leak code grind is not actually too bad. I think the reason when it gets bad is why it's called a grind, because you're just kind of doing the same thing over and over and over, and it's a lot of frustration and sort of slow learning. So I hope you can stick with it. It can be stressful. I think taking breaks is really important. And I wish you luck with what the grind is for, because the grind itself is not the goal. I added, oh, by the way, okay, so I didn't comment on this, but I was going to say, maybe it's because I followed where this was, but this seemed straightforward enough to me. There's an upgraded storeroom signal that gets sent to the storeroom, which tells it to add another item display. I added has reached max level to both classes. but there's another problem I need some help with. Storeroom just checks your money and its level. Shop, on the other hand, uses callback for success and failure, and it will only display not enough money on failure. Oh, so we now need to know the failure reason. When you're max shop level, it will tell you that you don't have enough money. Just need a way to find some sort of switch here. When you're at the max level, we shouldn't even get to that dialogue though. Like, users might have a different path than we do because we have a debug menu. What's your experience with Godot and C# performance-wise? That the TPS shooter demo is not really running with high FPS worries me. I don't know what the TPS shooter demo is, but we're making a relatively simple game. And there haven't been any problems. Oh, and this is made by like a main Godot person, right? Yeah, I haven't taken a look at this. Oh, this looks really cool. Yeah, the game that we're making seems to be running fine right now, and you can throw in a bunch of other. Let me grant a bunch of money and hire a bunch of workers and upgrade a bunch of things. Okay, this is not a great test of anything really, but oh, also I have no way of granting like a million items. I'd have to do this a bunch of times, and I'm not going to keep pressing these buttons. Yeah. Anyway, if we ended up adding in a whole bunch of different workers here and customers and whatever else, like it'll all still pretty much run fine. Granted, this is a 2D game. We don't have a whole bunch of different textures, but it's hard to say worry about performance once it's an issue when it comes to choosing your underlying technology in general, because I think that's good advice for individual functions and algorithms that you choose, which is worry about those when they become a problem, because you can always change functions and algorithms. But yeah, changing from C# to GD script or to C++ or just to Unreal Engine or something in general, I think that would be a much bigger task. Yeah, so maybe, and it's hard to say, right? You could download this, and presumably this is the code for everything, right? Like they have a project file. Yeah, you could download this and you could look at the profiler yourself and see where is the bottleneck, because maybe there's something really simple that's going on here that they just didn't optimize. And this was mostly just to be like, hey, a lighting demo. And for a lighting demo, it's like, okay, maybe it works totally fine. And maybe people comment on it in the issues or something like the frame rate, and you could see what people have to say. I don't know. Performance. Performance is quite slow. Yeah. Anyway, seems like a known issue here. Yeah. Well, good luck. 5A, 5A. Yeah, the game doesn't tend to lag unless you really push everything to its limits. And even then, we could probably do something about that. But yeah, there's no real point for us. All right. So yeah, I'll take a look at the code here. Max storeroom level, max shop level, num starting shop displays. Add next item display. Has reached max level. Great shop has current level. Okay. Storeroom also has current level, has reached max. Okay. So this had never been done before here. Try upgrade shop. Storeroom is already at max level. And then the shop text only comes from the, what, the shop keep or something like that? Yeah, I see. All right, so two things we could do here. One is prevent this dialogue from showing up in the first place if you wouldn't be able to upgrade anyway, which should be done no matter what. So where is that? Let's get this PR. 151. Make changes. What did I do? I forgot why this happens. I really need to look into that. All right, let's try it. So if we, where's my grant everything button? I guess we don't have it. Upgrade, upgrade. Oh, wait, that first one was broken, right? It doesn't actually give you a new display when you upgrade the first time. Oh, that's not right. How did that go wrong, though? Shop. Current level. Ah, this should probably be current level +1. Yeah, I assume this should just be +1 here. And then we rerun this. Wonder why that wasn't needed for the storeroom, though. Or maybe it was. Let's try it out. Upgrade storeroom. No, upgrade storeroom works fine. And now upgrade shop. Uh-oh. Something is definitely wrong. Oh, this just needs to be here. Okay, we put the current level up 1 before we add the next item display. There we go. I don't think this could have worked on your machine. I'm pretty sure that would have been broken there too. Yeah, now it's working fine. Okay, so we got to do 2 things here. Hey, Broken Crown. And thank you. Yeah, I did have a good vacation. We went to Spain. I got sick, and now that I'm sick, I still have not recovered. And it's been kind of mostly fine for the morning stream, but I feel like I should just take some more rest. So I'll probably do that and not come back for an afternoon stream. I'm also debating, this is totally separate from the sickness and vacation and everything. I'm debating on what I want to do with YouTube. I'm thinking of just kind of ignoring it for the rest of this year, which is really stupid. I think maybe I'll just make videos when I feel like I've got a video I want to make instead of trying to come up with videos. And I'm very torn on all of that. Anyway, I'll figure that out when I'm at 100%. All right, so this upgrade shop shouldn't even be here anymore. And that's also a problem. Because now we can get 1 higher than we could get before. Yeah. Yeah, milestone updates I think would be very reasonable to do. But I think it's going to turn my YouTube channel into like a game dev log channel, and people might not be expecting that. They might be like, oh, this person did a cool keyboard video and a video on whatever, mini PCs, and then now I'm just seeing a bunch of stuff on a video game. But yeah, I definitely want to make updates for that. And that way people can follow along. So at the very least, I'll do that, and maybe every once in a while I'll produce a new video. At least that's kind of what I'm leaning toward. I should probably write this down. When it comes to YouTube, I should release updates on Skeleseller and probably just make bigger videos or different videos when I feel like I have a good enough idea. Okay, so a few things I'm doing wrong here. Current level, so has reached max. Reach max and return false. Why is that wrong? Current level is always equal to the number of item displays, right? Current level. No, it starts at 0. Oh. Oh, so this is actually not how this should work. Okay, yeah, there's something a little weird going on here. I feel like the current level needs to start at 1. Here, max storm level is 64. How is this not a problem? What does this start at? Num starting storeroom displays. This can't be right. This must mean that you can get 66 storeroom displays, right? I just press space a whole bunch of times. I am confused. Zero references. I should use the constants. I'm missing a couple of things here. Yeah, I don't get how the storeroom's level doesn't start at, oh, this adds 1 here. I see. Okay, never mind. That makes sense. So then it starts at 2. But the shop doesn't know to start at 1. No, I guess ready adds in item display and add item display. Oh, this doesn't know to add to the current level. I see. Yeah, it's only an upgrade shop that we do that. This should be here just like it was for the storeroom. And that should fix 2 problems. Yeah. But then we're still gonna have the problem where the dialogue shows up, I guess. Yeah, so now we're properly doing this. This should be capped at 10. But then we don't want to show the dialogue option when you're at max. So this is where I was saying there are still 2 problems remaining. One is you shouldn't be able to upgrade the shop if already at max. And 2 is if you somehow tried upgrading the shop while at max, it should show a different message. So let's fix the second one first, because that's very easy to do. We have, what does that text say? Like not enough money? I think that actually comes from the shop keep. Yeah, this one, not enough money. So what we can do here is we have on success and on failure. The on failure can take in a like a reason. Although even this is probably overkill, because if we just prevent this, then we won't have any issues. Shop action. Can we put in like an int here out of curiosity? Yeah, we can. On success, on failure. I'm going to change this to an enumeration at some point, and then this should just be an int. Yeah, int r. So if r equals 0, then it's this, else it could be already at max level or something. It should be solved with a prop initialization. It doesn't reference the constant. Yeah, that's one way of doing it. The other way of doing it is the same way you did it for storeroom, which is just update the level inside add next item display. Yeah. Are get and set native functions you're adding to the class there? You don't need to add your own function for them, method, whatever. Are you talking about this? This is the property syntax in C# on shopkeep. Yeah. This is the property syntax in C# to say, look, we're going to store current level here, and the getter and setter is so straightforward that let's just give you quick syntax for that. So that way you can access this just like you could if this were just a public int, However, in the future, you can then find all references to git and set and change it if you want to, or make these private, or change them to different functions. So yeah, that I think you should just, if you want to look up more C# property syntax. Yeah. Syntactic sugar is what the .NET team calls that. Yeah, I mean, syntactic sugar is whenever you have syntax that's a simpler way of doing something else. So it's not different. It's not a different mechanism. So for example, if we have a for loop int I equals 0, I is less than 10, I plus plus, and you do something, you might have a language that lets you do something like for I 0, 10. Like these two things might be the same. I don't know a language that does this, but imagine that there were a language that does this. This would just be syntactic sugar for this. All right. So yeah, so we have a way of fixing the second problem if I felt like it. I don't know if it's even necessary to do. But yeah, we could just add an integer to this action, and then in the upgrade method itself, just call it. In fact, I think this should have known. What's it called? Upgrade shop? No, where? I forgot where this happens. On attempt upgrade. Ah, here it is. Yeah. So this would have been an action int, and then we can call on failure with a reason for why it failed. And this could return what that reason is. So that is how we could do all of that. And like I said, I don't think it's super important because I don't think we should show the dialogue at all unless you can upgrade. So I'm just going to leave that as a comment, and I'll just go comment and stuff. And I think I'm going to keep this checked in. Yeah. So maybe we should change the shop key right now. Although the button shouldn't even show up. Okay, no, you know what? I'm not going to do that. All right, so update current level correctly for shop. This mimics what the storeroom does. By doing this, it fixes two issues. One, the first time you upgrade the shop, the resulting item display won't be stacked on the existing one. And two is you can't upgrade a shop to level 11. Yeah. Okay. Commit. And then push to dark. And then I'll just leave a comment saying how we should fix the other thing. It's worse to call back. We max shop levels. I do not have money. Okay, so we could fix this by plumbing in an enum value back in the case of a failure. But I think we should address this by preventing the upgrade shop button from even showing in the shop keeps dialog when you're already at the maximum. All right, there are two ways we could do that. One is to disable the button and the other is to just not show it. So, I mean, it'd certainly be easier to just disable it. Does this have a reference to the shop? Probably does. Yeah, it does. So we could do that. The easier way to do this for now would be to disable the button if you're at the maximum level. But it's it may be better to hide the button altogether. It's up to you for now. Yeah. Comment on that, and my commit shows up there. Cool. Yeah. So that's it for this. I have a bunch of unread notifications, and I think some of them are about issues. So I need to comment on those. I'll write this down as homework, but to be honest, I don't know when I'm going to be doing work next. Make sure to respond to any other comments that Dark left on GitHub. Yeah. Yeah. I'm so torn. I'm so torn. What keyword is that? It's a corn keyword. There are 9 new issues. Yeah, and then I think there were some comments on existing ones maybe. So I want to look through all of them and kind of add some comments. Yeah, like I was just saying, I'm torn, and the thing I'm torn on is I'm still sick, and I know it. I think it's affecting my ability to work, maybe even stream. So how much rest do I take? When do I try streaming again? And I think maybe Wednesday morning. Oh, yeah. This wouldn't be such a big deal, but like I want to get back to this stuff and I want to work on it. And where I left off working on what quest stuff, I think, from before. This isn't even the right document. Where's the document? Here it is. Task list. Did I finish this? I did? Oh. Moved other tasks to 132. Follow-up work. Okay, there's still some stuff we need to do here, but this isn't probably super difficult. Based on this comment, make sure quests are aware of their own IDs based on this comment. What is this? I don't remember if I did this. Let's do one of these. Do quests know about their own ID? Did I? Nope, they don't. But they have quest data. Does quest data have an ID? Nope. Okay, well, fine. Let's write that down then. So finish the quest task. And also make sure to make quests aware of their own IDs. Yeah. So here's all the stuff we got to do. I'll bump this down to here somewhere. Yeah. I mean, I know I wrote this here. Don't push it with streaming today. I fell asleep at 5 p.m. on Saturday. I felt sick on Sunday. Yeah. Well, I guess we're bumping that to Wednesday. Still don't push it with streaming. I think it'll be obvious if I'm feeling better. Well, look, things are on track. I think that's the important part. And sure, today was pretty slow, but got stuff done. First day back after vacation. Feeling ready to work, but I'm sick and I'm definitely not processing things the way I should be. Only streamed in the morning. Yeah. Literally 3D printing a similar curved and split keyboard as I type this. Not sure what the term for it is for. I think, yeah, split keyboard. What kind are you printing? Is it something that already exists or something you designed yourself? Because I think this is great. I've liked this keyboard a lot. After having just like I don't even know what to say, like reset my room. I dusted everything and I took care of cables. The one change I'd want to make, I think, is getting rid of the cables for this completely. And you could make a wireless version of this, and people have done it before. Just I haven't done that. Took care of cables. Yes. Took care of. Oh, printing a dactyl. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I'm familiar with this. I think the a lot of the Manuform keyboards, I mean, the whole point of Manuform is it's formed to your hand. And getting that to be perfect was just so daunting a task that I never even tried. But they look cool, and people who use them seem to like them. Yeah. I'm looking at this one instead. Is there a picture of a completed version of this? I find it's a little harder to work. Oh, this is the same. Okay. Yeah. LSRP. Yep, same thing. Yeah, so what I was gonna highlight again here was this: the whole adventurers acting as workers, more adventurers, battle effects, a couple hours of gameplay. I think also maybe transitioning between instant stuff. The point is, like I said, we're back. Even slowly getting into things is still getting back into things. But I was hoping that today would have had much more progress. So yeah, thank you Darkstorm for all the PRs. I think they're mostly good. I've got a couple changes I want to make. Nothing too crazy. Thanks for you. Yeah. But yeah, I think we'll just be back on Wednesday. I don't know. It was what, 3 hours of streaming today? So about half what I wanted to do. Let's see if I can find someone to raid. Oh, also, Twitch changed their mobile app, so now it just immediately opens the stream. I do not like that at all. Excuse me. Oh, I want it to just be done. All right, you know what? That probably means I should just raid someone that I already follow, or just don't raid someone at all. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna sign off actually, because even dropping into someone's stream and being like, "Hey, what are you up to?" and I'm too tired for that. So thank you all for watching. I'm sorry this wasn't the normal peppiness and everything that you're probably used to. But I'm hoping to be back on Wednesday. If I'm not feeling well, we'll just do another morning stream and wait again until Friday or something. And just hopefully by next week, things are all back to normal. And I shouldn't need that much rest. But yeah, thank you all. Take care. And see you on Wednesday, hopefully.